Hello, everybody. So, it's been a while since I posted a video, but I have been posting to the community board just inspirational posts. Because that is a current theme, and the ongoing theme of my page is inspiration and self-care and wellness. So, this is going to be a really hard video for me to do, but I'm going to try to hold it together as much as I can. I have had, in the past few months, I've had 4 deaths in my life. 3 of them are family members. One of them was an ex, I would say partner or lover of mine. And you never are prepared for death. You never are given the tools or you're not prepared for when anyone passes away. Now, when someone passes away and they are elderly or they're sick and you have time to mentally prepare, then that is a different story. But when someone that you consider close to you, a confidant, or someone close to you as a sibling type of energy, it always hits hard and it always is difficult to get through that and bereave the right way. And I was just not prepared for, or expecting at least 2 of those people to pass away. So early in the year, well, before the new year began in November, I believe it was, I lost a blood cousin of mine. We had fell out, we kept falling out, friends falling out, and the last falling out we had, I was just like, you know what, I cannot take disrespect anymore. I cannot take, a constant disregard for someone else's feelings. So I kind of cut ties because there was a lot of spiritual warfare going on and spiritual attacks. So I cut ties, and she passed away suddenly. I didn't take that death hard because, I kind of was expecting it, because when you are a spiritual person and you know that when you are attacked by someone else who claims to be spiritual and they know the repercussions of, attacking someone spiritually and knowing the effects that can have on that person and ultimately the effect that can have on you and your well-being. So I didn't really take that one hard. I kind of felt like, it is what it is. The second person who passed away was someone who I was on the verge of being legitimately in a relationship with, and they passed away suddenly. I was not in contact with this person, and we kind of ended on, I want to say bad terms, but we kind of ended on, again, it is what it is, we're not going to be together, go on your merry way, I go on mine. But with this particular person, I did not have any ill will that couldn't have not been mended or fixed, even if we decided not to ever be, in a romantic relationship together. So that, on that aspect with that particular person, his name was Damon, I chose to just cut all ties. Because that's sometimes what you have to do. You just have to cut all ties with some people, whether you ended on bad terms or not. You have to cut ties and move on and, live your life. So even hearing about his death, it kind of was like it kind of took me by surprise, because, you always think that you can, make up with somebody. You always think that time can come where you can make things right. And when you see that person in person, you guys won't have, the nasty looks or, disrespect. And I didn't get the opportunity to kind of make sure that we were in a good space, in a good, and good energy with each other. And that kind of put me in it was just really hard for me. And I've lost people who were in the same light as Damien before, someone that I was going to be romantically involved with, and they passed away. And I took it hard, when the people in the past have passed away in that same light. I did not know Damien was sick or whatever was going on with him. I don't want to put his business out there, but it still took me by surprise, and I was really in a bad space for a while. And that was recently. That was recent. He passed away maybe last month, and that's the second person who passed away. Okay, so the next person who passed away was my cousin Bucky, and Bucky was more than a cousin to me. He was a best friend, he was a cousin, and I did not have a relationship with my older brother. So Bucky was like a brother to me. He was not a cousin, he was a brother to me. He was accepting of my lifestyle. We talked about addiction together. We talked about the strained relationship between our mothers with each other. We talked about being, relating to each other as like, the black sheep of the family. We related to each other in different ways. We can talk to each other with just looks. We would be in the same room and I can give him a look and he would just burst out laughing and knowing exactly what I felt and what I wanted to say. We had our own, language, and we were really, really tight. And his death, he passed away about 2 Saturdays ago. And I think it was May 16th he passed away. They found him unresponsive and a staircase. And it just hit me so hard because, like I said, it was like, for me, it was like I lost a brother, a legit brother, not a cousin, not a friend. I felt like I lost a sibling. I did lose a sibling. He was my brother. He stayed with me for a while in the Bronx off and on. And before he passed away, years before he passed away, maybe 2 years before, 3 years before he passed away, me and him had a falling out about, something stupid, something so trivial, something that could have been resolved and worked out. And about a year before he passed away, he had hit me up on Facebook and said to me, there's no reason why we are not as close as we used to be. There's no reason why we cannot be friends. And I said, you know what? You're right. There's no reason why. We have no beef. We have no problems. And we had made plans to actually link up and hang out like old times. We did not get the opportunity to do that for whatever reason. Nothing because we were beefing. Like I said, we had made up. And I regret that. I regret not pushing for us to hang out more, or inviting him to my new place or anything like that. I'm still very much grieving. This is just June 2nd or June 1st, I believe, June 2nd, and I'm hurting still. I'm still bereaving from this, and I don't know how long it's going to take me to feel okay or feel better. I'm very much shocked, and I feel, kind of lost. And I want everyone to know, I'm not going to say to anyone out there who's watching this vlog or, who is a subscriber of my channel to make up with anyone who you had a problem with. Go ahead and call them today. That's not what I'm saying, because some people need to be left in the past. Some people need to stay as far away from you as possible. But if there is opportunity, if there is a space, if there is some part of you that wants to reach out to anyone who you feel like there is a mutual respect and a mutual understanding that you guys can get over the past and move forward, I do suggest you do that. I do suggest you make an effort. And all you can do is make an effort. The worst thing the person can say on the other end is, no, I'd rather just, leave things the way they are. That's the worst they can say. I don't believe Bucky would have ever said that to me. I know for a fact he wouldn't have. because we were that close. We were so close that, you know, everyone else knew that we were so close. I probably was the closest person to him besides his girlfriend. I knew everything about him. He knew everything about me. There was no secrets. There were no hidden agendas. There was no treachery. There was no trifling energy. There was no any of that. And we've gotten in many of, you know, disagreements, and we've always found a way to come back together and just be happy with one another, and, you know, get together and watch our favorite shows, or hang out and smoke weed, or, you know, just chill out and just laugh and talk about family, people, and gossip. And I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss that tremendously. I felt like, or I feel like, he was the only one in my family, as far as males is concerned, that really understood me, and he really saw me. He knew my heart, and he knew my energy, and he knew exactly who I was and what I'm going through and what I was going through. And during my hardest times, during my hardest of hardest times, he was there and did not judge me, did not say one ill word about me. I don't care what he said to other people, but when he was with me, he never made me feel any type of way. He was supportive, he was kind, he kept it 100, 1,000 actually, and that's something I will miss. You don't get many people in your life who keep it 100 with you. You don't get many people in your life who love you unconditionally and stick up for you when you're not around. You don't get many people like that, you know, and I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss his smile, his energy, his perspective on different topics, you know, him asking me for female advice or whatever he needed advice on, us agreeing on or disagreeing on many topics, but finding that space to come back and not letting our personal opinions or personal views on things make us disconnected. And I'm going to miss him tremendously. Like, I've never, and I've talked to two other cousins that I've also had a falling out with, and because of his death, we have made a conscious effort to reconnect and bury the hatchet from the past. And I don't think I'll ever find anyone else like that in my life who I've had that type of relationship with, and you know what I'm trying to say, I can't say that word. And I don't think I've ever had that, I will ever have that again. On the level that it was with Bucky, he was just a sweet, kind spirit and soul, a very sensitive person. He left behind 2 children and a grandchild, a sister, and a bunch of cousins that loved him so much. And it's going to be very hard for me to move past this unfortunate incident. There's so much mystery surrounded by his death and the way he died, and that is going to be harder for me to, you know, move past until I find out exactly what happened to my brother, my cousin. And another factor is his parental figure, lack of a better term, did not allow people to come to his funeral. She did not have a funeral for him. Her words were, "No one cared about my son. No one loved my son." Well, that couldn't have been farthest from the truth. Everyone loved him. He might have done things that pissed off people. He might have done things or said things that made people uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, people loved him. He was loved. He had a lot of people that would have came out in droves to his memorial or funeral or whatever she would have chose to have for him. People would have came out and showed love for this man. And to take that opportunity away from people who loved him and cared about him is absolutely evil. And I don't want to make this vlog about her, because it's not. God will see her evil ways and deal with her accordingly. And the people who loved him will unfortunately have to mourn him and honor him on their own time and in their own way. And I plan to do that. Me and my cousin plan to do that eventually. Like I said, I had falling out with two other cousins that meant a lot to me. My cousin Katima, who have been like peas and carrots since we were small children. We're both in our late 30s. I believe she's about to turn 40. And we have made amends, and I'm grateful for her role in my life. And I will make a conscious effort to keep that relationship with her as whole and pure as possible. I will honor her in any way I can, because she was there for me just like Bucky was. And I don't have that in my life. I have a very small circle, for lack of a better term, and that is because I put up a brick wall, because I've been hurt so much and scorned so much from so many people in my life that I put up this brick wall to prevent that from happening, and I have to vet everyone in my life properly. Sometimes I don't, most of the time I do. And I made up with another cousin of mine, my god brother Nate. He goes by Nate Payne. And I made up with him, and me and him had a huge falling out. And it's not even to be talked about what we fell out about, but the fact that we've made up and we've made amends means the world to me, because he's the first person I came out to. He's the first person that took me in. When my mom kicked me out of the house at 17, 18 years old, I made amends with him, and that relationship with him means the world to me as well. He never really judged my personal life. He said his opinion, let me know how he feels, but the fact that he's always been a brother to me, like I said, I'm not close to my older brother. Not to say that I don't see that relationship ever repairing with my older brother, but there's going to be things that have to be talked about in great depth before I ever decide to, discuss anything with him. And you might be saying, well, hasn't this taught you a lesson? Well, like I said, sometimes people have to be left in the past, no matter what title they hold in your life, and some relationships can be repaired. Do I ever want to have a relationship with my brother? Of course I do. He's my brother. We share the same mother and father. He has four beautiful children now. And of course I would like to see my nieces and nephews, and my nephew. He has a son and 3 daughters. I would love to see them. He has 2 children with his wife, and he has 2 children that she had from her previous relationship. So I would love to be around, my nieces and nephews, and try to repair that relationship. But what I will say is, to anyone who is experiencing death or loss or anything that has made you reevaluate your life or circumstances or relationships, try to make amends if it could work. Try to reach out to people if it could work. Try to wrap your thoughts and your soul and your mind around forgiveness. And like I said, if it doesn't work out, the worst they can say is no. People who watch my channel, people who know me personally, know that, life goes on. Life goes on whether you're mad, life goes on whether you're happy. People will live their lives that hurt you and not even think about what they've done to hurt you. They do not think about it every day as much as you do. you think about it probably more than they do, because in their eyes, they do not feel like they have hurt you. In their eyes, they do not feel like they have been wronged or they are wrong. So I would like to say to anyone who in the past month, in the past year, or, before the new year, who I have, might have treated wrong or said some mean things, or not have been the person who I promote on my channel, I would like to apologize wholeheartedly. I apologize to you for being rude or nasty, or so nasty and so rude. I would like to apologize to you and give my deepest, from the bottom of my heart, give my deepest apologies and say that hopefully you forgive me. I was dealing with a lot of personal issues besides the losses, and I'm still dealing with, the loss of mainly my cousin Buck. That is someone who I think about since his death. When I go to sleep, when I wake up, throughout the day, sometimes I break down in tears for no reason. And I'm in a grieving mode, in a grieving state in my life. And this is something that none of the cousins were expecting. I have about 20 cousins plus that I think this is the first death that we had with someone in our age group. You always, handle it better, I feel like, when someone who is older passes, or someone that is sick, or you've been expecting their transition into the afterlife. But when someone is 35 and has so much more life to live and so much more repairing to their life and could have had a possibility to turn life around. Bucky went to rehab, had a job, he was doing good, and I guess, life takes over. And I don't want to talk about, how he died or the circumstances around that, because a lot of it's still unclear. But I would like to just say that he was a shining light in my life. When I was going through my worst times, he made me realize that it was okay, I'm human, and I have a way about being very hard on myself. Like you say, people say, like, you are your own worst critic, and I can say that is me to the core. I am my own worst critic. I am in my head a lot, and I'm learning, and hopefully I will master the art of not being in my head, not being hard on myself, and forgiving myself. Another person who passed away a week later after my cousin Buck, my brother Buck, passed away, was a great aunt of mine who passed away. Her children, her son is my first cousin, and I basically grew up in her home. And she passed away. Me and her did not end on good terms, and that relationship was not repairable due to the circumstances. And I was okay with that, because I know that I didn't do anything wrong, and I was okay with that being the way it was and leaving it in that space. And not to say that makes it any better, or dealing with her death, because at one point she was someone that I did consider very close to me. I was very close to her son, who was in his late 40s, or about to be 50, I would assume. And me and him were very close. And just to know that he is dealing with the loss of a mother is heartbreaking for me. And I send my love and condolences to him and his two children. And I am grieving for him as well. There are no words to explain the feeling you feel when you lose a parent. Thankfully, I have not lost a parent, so I do not know how that feels. Thankfully, he had the time to prepare himself before her death because it was expected. And I send my love to him. I don't think he watches my channel, but if he does watch this, Ronald, I send my love to you, and I hope that you have people around you that will wrap their arms around you and show you love and support and give you everything you need to get through this time. And hopefully me and you one day can move forward and come to some sort of, understanding. But I say all that to say, if you have anyone in your life who you can possibly make up with and put, your grievances to the side and forgive one another and get back to the core of you guys' relationship in the beginning, I suggest it. I implore you to do that. Like I said, Nate and Katima, I was about to say Cornita, but that is Nate's wife. But I want to say Nate and Katima, I value you, I love you, and I'm so happy to have you back in my life, and I need you now more than anything. This death has took a tremendous toll on my emotional well-being, and I'm hoping to get through this okay, because I'm not okay right now. And I just want you guys to continue to say your affirmations and practice your self-care, and to keep yourself first, and to always know that hopefully the people you care about you as you do about them, and to continue to have your wits about you and keep your head tightened on your shoulders, and to tell someone that you love them. And don't forget to just take care of yourself and be kind to others. And like I said, there was a whole space of time where I was lashing out on people because I did not understand about, death and forgiveness and moving forward. And I don't want to keep this video long. It's already 27 minutes. I didn't expect it to be this long, but please meditate, work out, keep yourself clear about any negative energies, pay attention to energy, and just wrap yourself around wellness and healing. And I love you guys, and thank you for your support. Everyone who has reached out to me, I love you and appreciate you. And I have more content coming soon. I've taken a little break just to deal with myself and what I'm dealing with, and I'm going to take some more time to just get myself together and love on myself. And I thank you guys for supporting my channel. I'm almost monetized, so if you guys can continue to press the like button, continue to comment, continue to watch my old vlogs. There's a whole plethora of content that you guys can delve deep into that will help you on your journey. And I want to thank you again, and I love you. I'm Yamik, and you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.